Hello, my beautiful Taurus friends. How are we feeling as we move into a new calendar year? Actually, when I say that, moving into a new calendar year, I just want to take all the pressure off of that. Like, let's just not this time around. Let's do it a little differently. Let's change up our traditions and our routines and have January be a little softer to us, a little warmer, a little bit more about going toward ourselves rather than disciplining ourselves into a shape and a costume of who we think we need to be. And with that being said, I will say January is powerful. It truly is. Your ruling sign, Venus, is moving through her retrograde in Capricorn, fellow earth sign. It is a time where we are really reevaluating what is of value in our lives, what is nourishing us, what we want to have around us, what we think of as beautiful, as loving, as true, as deep, right? You know, you work with Venus, you know this energy. And I think those are the deep, important questions, but it is a time of reflection there. This is also a month of a Mercury retrograde that begins in Aquarius and then it moves back through Capricorn. That starts on the 14th. So it's also a time of review about how we're moving through the world and how that's feeling and how we're using our energy. And just a big review, I think, over 2021. In a way, this Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde can really help us to integrate and be reborn into a new energetic cycle. And that's where we're coming to today with Taurus. There's so much going on in January. I could just sit here listing out every single astrological event, but I think we need to stay focused. And yes, Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, those are essentials in January. But for Taurus, we've got a couple other biggies. One, we have Uranus, your friend Uranus, who's been with you for a few years now, moving direct. And on around that same exact time as Uranus moves direct in your sign, the North Node moves right into your sign on the 19th, beginning a year and a half of exploration and eclipses in your sign. Now, this is really exciting. The North Node being in your sign is a time of epic growth and exploration. And it is an interesting combo to have the North Node and Uranus in your sign at the same time. I will admit, not everybody is going to go through that particular journey, but you are. And so, yes, this is going to be a powerful year and a half for you. In general, what I would say is the growth and the exploration is big. I think of the North Node, it's very similar in some ways to the energy of Jupiter, who just recently moved into Pisces, actually right before the new year began. Jupiter, right, is this expander. So it's like things happen really fast and intensely with Jupiter. The North Node is very similar in that way. I find like if you have personal energy in a sign with the North Node in it, you will find that life takes you're going. Things are happening. Your growth, your expansion, the way you change happens really, really, really quickly. And that is really exciting. I think a lot of us, are ready for that movement. It can also, one thing I will say, just to kind of prepare you as we move into this, is that you're going to want to make sure you're incorporating rest and recharge time. And also, here's the other thing, with an expander and a spotlight like this, you're going to want to only pick up what is really true for you, right? You're going to want to not do every single project, every single relationship, every single open door. Big part of, I think, the journey of the North Node is to be in integrity with yourself. And that means being really honest with what you actually want to pick up. North Node in general, though, is a really positive transit, right? Because the rest of us are all going to be heading toward the Taurus kind of energy. This is going to be where, as a culture, we are going to be doing our work and evolving into something better, which Taurus North Node is something I think we need in our culture right now, right? To come back to being grounded, to caring about the earth, caring about beauty and love and connection in this world. I mean, it is a great energy. You all know that. So we're all going to be doing that. But for Taurus, this is going to be, it's already a natural energy to you, right? So you have an amplifier there with it. But when you are more yourself and when it's easier to be more yourself, guess what happens? Things change really quickly. I remember like when I was younger and I was a little more insecure, like in my 20s, and a little bit more like I wanted to please everybody and be everything to everybody. And then I would have these bursts of like really just being myself and being like, no, this is what I want. Things would change so fast, like that person I was dating would suddenly be out of the picture. And that job that I was a little intimidated by before would open up for me. It can be it's a little nerve-wracking, right? To think like, well, if I'm fully myself, what will change? But here's what I have to say, anything that changes within that context is going to be something that feels really right for you, even if it's a little scary while you're doing it. And I think you can let that self-trust guide you and bring you with it. You don't need to second guess yourself, right? It's about a knowing. And I think the North Node in Taurus, and one of the important things about Taurus is come back to your body, let it show you information, right? 9 of Pentacles. There we go. Yes, but it's true that this is a North Node that is going to be conjunct Uranus. There's going to be a lot happening in Taurus, right? And you've already been going through kind of these big restructuring moments for a while now. So I don't want you to get scared like this is going to be too much. North Node is a positive transit. It's one that helps us to grow into who we truly want to be. The moon, hello. Also to keep in mind, the South Node will be in your opposing sign of Scorpio, which is just going to be a great time also of reflecting on your relationships and what is working for you in relationships. This will be a time of revision and reflection on that score and just kind of paying attention to how that's going, right? So, and once again, you have a year and a half with this. So I find that it's a long enough transit that it's not like you have to pack in your growth in a month. A year and a half is long enough that the lovers, hello, that, the progress happens over time and you'll notice it. So we're just beginning here in January. So what I would suggest, with that shift on the 19th, just like let yourself feel it out. Let yourself just kind of notice what you're feeling, what thoughts are coming up. 10 of Wands. I keep joking about it because that card shows up for fixed signs specifically. I swear, because we just can't let go, can we? We have to do the thing all the way to the bitter end, even if like we're so done. It's like a fixed sign rule, right? That's like one of our characteristics. So we need our little reminder sometimes. It's okay to close some old doors. Okay, I'm pulling one final card here from my Animal Totem Tarot to just give us a little bit of a rounding. Wheel of Fortune and the Ladybug. Isn't that such a joyful card? Makes me think of Taurus season actually, because it's got all these leaves and grapes and it's like summer's on its way and you can just kind of feel the aliveness. I like that a lot. It makes a lot of sense too. I feel like Uranus with North Node is very much Wheel of Fortune, new season beginning, new energies beginning, a new chapter of life really taking off. I'm so excited to see where it leads you. So let's talk through this. Really great cards. I mean, I'm telling you, like there has been just such a positive energy to January, which I know it's like we're all a little skeptical. We're all a little wary, like, really? I don't know. I was hopeful last January and it ended up being a pretty rough winter. So I find it really interesting, first of all, that my inner skeptic's saying that. Also that there's some beautiful thing happening. 9 of Pentacles. I love this card. Yes, this is about independence. This is about like kind of being able to take care of your own stuff. Like you have material support, you have your savings, you take care of it. Yeah. But I think the 9 of Pentacles represents something even deeper than that, which is, there was a really loud car running by there. That was that look. I was like, excuse me. 9 of Pentacles to me is a sense of relaxing into yourself, relaxing into knowing you got this, right? You don't need to be running around in circles. You don't need to be wearing everybody else's hats. You got this. I feel like this is an essential tenet of the Taurus archetype. It's one of the lessons we all have to learn if we're trying to understand and integrate Taurus energy, which is this, I'm me, I'm here, I'm sitting here, and it's good. So already it's saying, emphasis on this. Starting January, emphasis on this. Now, we also have a bit of introspection going on with the moon, because the moon is about checking in with our spirit, kind of going to the energetic realms and seeing what is there. And this is a reflective time. Venus and Mercury retrograde, we're doing some integrating this month, for sure. That is definitely a part of January's energy. It is about integrating and understanding how we've grown and changed. And the moon often too represents for me something that's kind of secret or hidden within us, something that maybe we keep just for ourselves, something that we feel is something that isn't for others. It's not for the world at large. It's not for the big stage. It's something that we keep very close to ourselves. And it may be something that we need to look at or explore or even express to somebody close to us. And it may be something that makes you a little nervous to acknowledge or spend time sitting with, because in exploring that part of ourselves and that deep truth we have within us, what will change, right? That's always the question. What will change if I let myself be myself? What will change if I start doing work in a different way? What will change if I tell my partner that this is really what I want over here? And I'm scared that in them hearing it, right? Like, we can spin in our heads, but here's the thing. There's a lot of support here. The Lovers comes up right next, which the Lovers is about amplifying good communication. I know we like to get into like, oh yeah, like our soulmate, our twin flame, but what is any of that if it isn't with somebody who we can have really honest, beautiful, deep conversations with? I feel like Esther Perel would say that the Lovers is so much about having these real conversations. Yes, that is what the Lovers is about, right? It's like an openness and a safety in being able to express yourself. So I love the Lovers card. The reminder there, I'm not about to give you the advice that you can't get deeper. Like, Venus retrograde can bring you deeper relationships, deeper connections, and it can also, dissolve connections that aren't serving you. It's never going to dissolve something that is really good for you. It's never going to dissolve something with somebody who really supports you and loves you and gets you and is right and fits in your life in a way that represents, how you want to live. And there is such a thing as deepening relationships. But you know what this represents for me, this moon Lovers combo, is vulnerability is the only way to get closer to people. It's the only way to move forward, right? So you're being asked for vulnerability here. We can only be loved if we are known. We can only be appreciated if we are seen and known by others, right? And it is scary, but there is a reminder here that this is going to be a beautiful time for that. We also have the 10 of Wands. Yes. So with this kind of season of revision, and I'm really digging this year, I think the Lunar New Year is the way to go as far as like that kind of sense of fresh beginnings. I think the Lunar New Year is like, it's just perfect. Like, I love it. January to me is a time of integration, reflection. Yes, creativity, exploration, play, having fun for sure, but also integration while doing that. And the 10 of Wands, whenever this shows up, it's like, ooh, you're carrying something that you are ready to put down. It's not about, oh, you should have put it down. You should have seen it. And it doesn't have to be a relationship. It doesn't have to be anything. It's going to be different for everyone. But the 10 of Wands is that thing we are holding that is feeling real heavy, real lonely, and just is not fitting anymore. And it's okay to put it down. It doesn't always have to be dramatic. Sometimes we keep ourselves trapped thinking that we have to do it or the world's going to fall apart. We have to do it or people won't love us anymore. Well, we have to do it or, we won't have value in the world that we live in. We have to do it because this is who I am. This is who people know me as, right? It's kind of like when an artist They start off as a singer, and then, they fall in love with painting and they become a painter, and everybody's like, well, you're not allowed to be a painter. You have to be a singer until you die. And it's that kind of standards that we have on ourselves inside that can keep us holding things. We just, I don't want to keep doing that the same way. And here's the deal, the Wheel of Fortune with the ladybug, very beautiful fortunate card, I'd say. With this North Node moving into your sign, with the rebirth of Venus, which does happen. I mean, Venus literally goes into the underworld during her retrograde, meets with the sun, and is reborn. It's rebirth energy. Your ruling planet's rebirthing. North Node is moving into your sign. Uranus is moving forward. This is a new season of life. Taurus, you've already been laying the groundwork for a few years. You've been doing it for like 3 years. It's been like, you've been doing it. With this North Node coming in to join the party with Uranus, there are things that are going to be changing and moving a lot this coming year. We don't need to know all the details of that. We don't need to try and control 2022 from sitting here together, having this chat. That's not necessary at all. With the Wheel of Fortune, what I would say is kind of reflect and notice how you are growing and changing. Honor that. Feel your feelings about that change. Like, I know for me, I'm not a Taurus sun or a rising or anything. I do have a Taurus North Node though, so I'll be with you on that. Thinking about the last couple of years, oh my God, I've changed so much, like so many aspects of me. I've just I can't be the shape that I was like 2019 in so many different aspects. And I actually have to feel a lot of emotions about that, because while I'm ready for all the changes in my life, I kind of grieve missing and loving that person I was a couple of years ago, and like how much she gave me and taught me and learned. And I think the Wheel of Fortune is like, it's a good time to let yourself feel your feelings about all those changes and let them process through, so that you can really open to this beautiful year and a half ahead that I am so excited to explore with you all. Let me just send you off with some well wishes for January here. Here are the wishes I have for you. May this year be one of bright light and warmth. May it be a year of deep love, beautiful art, and sensory joy. May it be a time of deep integration and fully being born into new ways. May this be a time of healing and exploration. And I really do. I wish you all such beautiful relationships and warmth and great root systems and all the amazing things that come with a transit like the North Node, and just even without the North Node. I wish those things for you all. I will be walking us through all of this stuff on Patreon. That's really where I can go deep, because there's just too much to cover in one reading. So I'd love to see you there. We're covering Venus retrograde, walking through that throughout the month. North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio, Jupiter in Pisces. We've got all sorts of resources as this year continues to unfold. So I'd love to see you there. You can find me on my one and only official Instagram, which is at Vrba. There are some imposters out there, but I'll leave the handle below so you know exactly where to find me, and you can just ignore any other imposters that are trying to reach out to you. And you can find me on my website and my email, so I'll leave all of those below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love it if you stuck around here. And I will talk to you all so soon. Have a beautiful beginning to 2022.